from a Ghost Hunter podcast. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube or if you're on Spotify. If you really like the show and you really want to help and support, you can actually support this podcast on anchor.com Tales from a Ghost Hunter support. Once again, that is anchor.fm Tales from a Ghost Hunter support. You can go ahead and donate some money. It can be 99 cents a month. It can be $5 a month. It can be 100. Maybe it can be 100. I don't know if that's an option. But if you want to support, you can. You can also, if you're a reader, if you would rather read this than listen to it, you can actually find books from Tales from a Ghost Hunter on www.amazon.com Josh Amen dash there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Just look up Joshua Amen, look up Tales from a Ghost Hunter, and I guarantee you'll find some books on Amazon. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the different types of hauntings. So, take it away.
Yeah, so I categorize everything into three types of hauntings. Residual, intelligent, and inhuman. So we're going to start with residual haunting, and it's explained as like an imprint on time. Something that happens no matter what outside effects happen. No matter what you do, it will not affect a residual haunting. It will not talk to you. It will not answer you. It will not change what it does every day. It'll just continue to do whatever it's pretty much been imprinted to do at the exact same time, place, location. So there's a lot of different examples of that. Some examples are evidence that I've caught over the years where we're not asking for anything. We're not asking to talk to somebody. We're not asking to hear anyone or get any kind of responses, but we're still get some kind of activity. Mm-hmm. And then it's something that doesn't respond when we try to respond to that. So I'm going to show you a clip here that we caught while just walking down at Suicide Bridge.
I'm trying to get pictures.
So we're referring to that child's voice or something?
Exactly. So it's a child's voice, and it's obviously going to be a lot louder for the people listening than it was here.
Yeah.
But basically what is heard is a child's voice saying, "You can't get me." And it's almost like they're playing a game. Huh. And we didn't hear this. We did not hear this live.
This was picked up on.
This was picked up on the audio recorders while we were walking and investigating. And
just to be clear, was it this one right here?
No, it was actually a different audio recorder.
Okay.
This is newer.
Yeah.
And it was just an interesting find because we weren't talking to children. We weren't acting or asking for children interaction. We were looking for suicide victims.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those things where it's like it's just a residual energy.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been a child that really enjoyed playing in that area under the bridge where it's like a park.
Yeah.
You know, or a hiking trail. You know, because we didn't get any other interaction from a child spirit. We didn't get anything else from that area, which is why it makes me feel like it's a residual haunting. Other examples are, you know, hearing a baby cry when there is no baby present and there's no one asking for that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
Or door closing at the exact same time every day in the same place, whether the door is still present or not. You still hear it, you know, interacting with a door.
So it's just some sort of like reoccurring event that's just like an energy that's kind of left over.
Exactly. So next one is going to be intelligent. So intelligent is what you normally run into. An intelligent haunt is something that interacts with you. It responds. You get answers. And I also categorize what people call what is it? When things fly around the rooms. I forget what it.
Like a poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Yeah. So I categorize poltergeist activity into intelligent. Some people say that that should be demonic. I say, why can't it just be an intelligent spirit with a little bit more power?
Yeah.
Um, because it doesn't have to be violent activity.
Yeah.
It's just moving things. It's giving you a big burst of energy.
Yeah.
And we don't understand what's causing that in the first place. So why should we automatically just say, oh, well, it seems violent, therefore it's demonic? And intelligent hauntings are a lot of different things. And if you ask a question and get a direct answer, it's automatically considered an intelligent haunting. So, and one experience I've had with that was at a family cemetery. So,
I believe I was at this one, was it?
I believe you were at this one.
Was it Gravity Hill or?
No, this one is I forget the name of the park, but it's Glendale. And there's a park with a pyramid.
Is it Brand?
I think it might be the Brand one where they have the big pyramid graveyard where the guy's buried under a big pyramid.
I think that's Brand Park.
Yeah.
Because it's like the big house over there.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
where the guy lived and stuff. Yeah. What is the history behind that place? Because I know that we could probably look it up right now. But
yeah, as far as I remember, they own the property. The house is a library now, I believe.
Yeah.
The cemetery is gated. So it's a pyramid with him, which I believe is Mr. Brand, and then the rest of the family is buried within the rest of the space.
Yeah.
And that's actually where the next audio clip I'm going to be playing came from. So you hear that now. So there's a little bit of a loud chirping in the background there.
Yeah.
But what you're hearing is two different voices. There's a female voice and a male voice, neither of which are us. We've been asking some questions, and we thought we heard something. And then when we went back and looked, this is what we found.
Yeah.
We're completely unsure of what the woman is saying. Couldn't make it out, couldn't figure out what the audio says.
Yeah.
The male, it sounds like something about a long day. And so, but that's the kind of things that you get when you interact with something. Something I always did with my groups that I thought was unique was we used different colored flashlights.
Yeah.
And I used a lot of the spirit box for that. And I would play some audio clips from that, but the spirit box is very loud. The audio is a little grating, because of how loud and kind of annoying that gets.
Yeah.
But I've gotten quite a lot of success using it with the colored flashlights because you can then create a control question. What color is this light?
Yeah.
I've gotten the color is green. The color is blue.
It is accurate with what the
and it's completely accurate with the light we're using.
Have you had it be wrong?
I have not had it be. I've had it be off. Not like completely wrong, but definitely off.
Yeah.
Because we've used like a red light and we got pink. And they're like, it's pink.
Colorblind ghost.
And yeah, I'm like, dude, it's red. Same color spectrum, but you're a little off.
Yeah.
I get some interesting ones when I use black light. I've only had one actual answer to that one, and they say it's purple. Other than that, I don't get a lot of responses when I use a black light.
Yeah.
And there was one occurrence when using a black light where we got a screaming noise from the spirit box.
Huh.
So, which was interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's pretty much residual hauntings in a nutshell. The last one that...
Sorry, you meant intelligent?
No, I'm sorry, intelligent hauntings.
Intelligent. Okay, just making sure.
So, the last one is inhuman hauntings.
Uh-huh.
Inhuman hauntings is what people would call demonic. And there's a very fine line in that for me. Because some people will say, oh, well, he got scratched. There's 3 lines, it's a demon. When you hold up your hand, the 3 longest fingers, are what would scratch somebody. You're not going to get a scratch mark if you attack somebody from your pinky or your thumb.
Yeah.
You know, 3 lines doesn't, in my eyes, say demonic. It says angry.
Yeah.
It says, you know, something's definitely able to influence the real world. Um, when it's demonic, it's, you know, you go through the phases of possession. You go through those events where somebody's isolating themselves and changing their behavior and looking sick and pale and frail, but exerting a lot of amounts of energy and showing inhuman strength and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, 3 scratches to me is not demonic haunting. It's just scary that it's able to influence you that much.
What do you think it? What do you think it is that necessarily? I mean, this is all like speaking in theory, I guess, but like, what would it be that would create something to be as powerful to do that in some art?
I mean, honestly, it could be a lot of things. I think our emotions tie into how that operates. And I think your emotions day to day, you know, I mean, when somebody's angry, you feel it when you walk into a room. So why wouldn't it be any different as a spirit? You know, why wouldn't it be, well, they're really upset and angry and they're able to influence their surroundings harder because of it?
Mm.
You know, so I think in that space, you're just energy at that point, and emotions are just that, they're energy.
Mm.
So some are just stronger than others.
Yeah.
Other things that fall into the category of inhuman would be what some people would call elementals. And these are in the category of inhuman because they're things that have not walked the earth.
Mm.
They are beings that exist but were never human. Elementals are, you know, fall into like a pagan belief system where it's the spirit of water, wind, earth, trees, bushes. Um, you know, and it's just they gave spiritualism to a lot of items. Some people consider elementals to be a protective spirit, something that is there to protect the area, and sometimes can get violent because there's someone damaging that area. Other types of, you know, inhuman haunts would be what some people call jinn in other religions, and um, just different kinds of malicious spirits or things where they feel like it's just not, it doesn't interact in a human way.
Yeah.
So like dark energies sometimes are created almost in a space.
Yeah.
Because of high deaths, bad events, things that just almost it causes or creates this amount of bad energy that almost kind of blankets the area.
So it's more of just like a bad energy kind of matter rather than something that somebody that passed on.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's very rare to come across this kind of activity.
Yeah.
Done a lot of investigations. I've done a lot of private homes. I've had a lot of claims of inhuman haunts, but I've had very little evidence of such. One thing that I can say is anytime you get certain noises or smells like sulfur, things burning, those are signs of things being inhuman.
Yeah.
I have one audio clip that I consider inhuman. So, and this is from Devil's Gates Dam in Pasadena.
Yeah.
You got something to say? You want to show us something? You got to do it now. Show yourself. What the fuck was that?
So some sort of it's almost like a force that just kind of goes by.
It's so. I'll kind of explain the scenario to you. So, Devil's Gate is the dam at the end of the Arroyo Seco, which is what Suicide Bridge goes over.
Yeah.
And it's been there a long time. The noise you just heard came from the actual tunnel that is in the dam, the outlet tunnel.
Yeah.
And it was locked. It was locked shut. The gate was shut. There was actually water that had pooled up in front of it, so we weren't even able to get to the tunnel. And we could see the padlock and the chain, and the bars weren't separated enough for any kind of a large animal to get in there.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even sound animal. It doesn't sound human. It doesn't sound animal. It's a very odd, like yelling, growling noise.
And just to rule everything out, like the Devil's Gate Dam, it right there. Is there a street above it or anything like that?
No.
Could be...
So there is no streets above it. There's its own little like hiking area around the end of the dam.
Yeah.
And it was an odd experience because you could hear it echo and come out of the tunnel itself.
Did you also feel something in that moment? Like, did you or Chad that was in the recording, did he feel like something go through him in a way, or?
No, I mean it was definitely a very unnerving experience because it was a very unnatural noise.
Yeah.
And in those moments, I mean it's interesting to kind of continue from that point forward because you don't know exactly what you're interacting with at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, and there's obviously other moments in time where you have scary, like moments in an investigation, but there's a difference when you end up with something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I've had experiences in private homes where I walk up into their second floor and it feels like I walk into a wall of water.
Yeah.
Because the air is so thick, and it's like you automatically feel paranoid. You automatically walk into this area where it's like you feel like something's there, something is happening. You're entering their bubble, but that's not inhuman. That's just a high concentration of energy. This is inhuman by my standards because it is a unnatural noise with no explanation. Like it was an unnecessary like noise to have to be coming out of that tunnel.
Yeah.
And to have like that growling noise, that screaming noise is very inhuman, categorized by a lot of other people in the paranormal field.
Yeah. So what are some like other, I would say, like what are some other accounts of these kind of hauntings that you've seen? Maybe not from your own experience, but just maybe people that you've worked with in the past, or maybe just things that you've seen in general or researched. How often has this happened in the past?
You mean just like inhuman haunting?
Inhuman hauntings in general, like
So,
how we recorded.
There's not a lot of well documented inhuman hauntings.
Yeah.
One of the most popular, I would say, is probably Bobby Mackey's.
Mm-hmm.
It's been categorized as a demonic haunting by a lot of people, a lot of different teams, a lot of different TV shows.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting story. And there's, I think there was a story about a man who like cut himself and was doing a ritual in the hole that another gentleman that worked there had dug because he was told to dig the hole. And they found a well in the process of digging that hole.
Wow.
And from investigations and experiences that people have had there, they've determined that is some type of portal. And it's one of the few places in the world where there's that opinion that it's a portal and that it's allowing in some kind of demonic negative activity.
Yeah. Almost like a black hole or like another kind of dimension.
Exactly. And it's like it's bridging some kind of gap. There's not a lot of those places like that where people really can honestly say it's some kind of demonic haunting.
Yeah.
Other accounts of demonic hauntings or possessions actually come out of the Roman Catholic Church. To this day, they still train, exorcisms. They train people in Rome for exorcisms.
Yeah.
To make sure that they have people that can. And it's a very like almost hidden secret for it. Like they don't speak about it or say much about it,
Yeah.
but it is something that they continue to train priests to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they do honestly feel like it is a necessary thing that is needed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stories that come out of that kind of stuff. Pastors that have seen exorcisms and have documented it and, replayed it for other people and talked about it and been interviewed about things as simple as an old lady walking in and then being able to throw around chairs and furniture and when she's like 95 pounds,
Yeah.
and then leaving at the end of the day like nothing happened. All in the middle of some kind of exorcism or almost like appointment for exorcism.
Yeah.
Like slowly but surely helping them get rid of it.
And these are definitely, like, there's definitely been actual recorded cases of these events happening, like during exorcisms in particular,
Yeah.
of where these things happen, these inhuman kind of things come out of people that otherwise would be impossible or just wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
And there's been actual recorded evidence of these things happening. Is it possible that the human mind is just that powerful, or is it something you think that definitely is?
It's definitely an interesting topic. The human mind is capable of a lot. I don't know if it's capable of that.
Yeah.
Because to do that, our body would have to be pretty much allowing us to run off all of our inhibitors that keep us from using 100% body strength and using, muscle groups that we don't usually use on a normal basis and do things that otherwise are just not possible. I mean, there's claims during exorcisms of not only inhuman strength, but projectile vomiting, speaking other languages they've never heard of or known prior, being capable of inhuman acts like walking on walls and ceilings and just doing things that defy what we know to be true. So while the human mind is a very powerful thing, I don't think it's capable of causing some of these events.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, so we got residual, we got intelligent, and then we have inhuman hauntings. Out of all these, I would guess it would be residual, but the ones you come across the most in your investigations, would they be residual or more?
The most common one is intelligent, actually.
Okay.
The most common haunting I find is intelligent. Residual is probably your next best. Like I said, inhuman is far and few between.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get a lot of inhuman hauntings. We don't get a lot of those cases in general.
Yeah.
I've had lots of claims of them. I've had people telling me all sorts of things. They see all sorts of stuff, from moving furniture and, different activities. There's also like doppelganger activity.
Yeah.
That's also falls into the inhuman category. For the reason of it would have to be something that's capable of changing its figure. Because doppelganger activity is seeing someone who's not present, or seeing yourself somewhere.
And inhuman can pretty much fall under. It can fall under anything. It could fall under extraterrestrial life. It could fall under
exactly
demonic, or I guess there's other things that we could call it too. But so like a doppelganger and stuff, there has been also like accounts of extraterrestrials being able to morph in different shapes.
Right, and do something very similar to that.
Yeah.
So that's, in a way, almost branching completely a different category.
Yeah.
Because hauntings obviously aren't the same as extraterrestrial activity.
Mm-hmm.
But there are claims of things like doppelganger activity in both categories.
Yeah.
So it starts to bridge this gap of where one starts and the other ends.
Yeah. I feel like in a way it does kind of have like it interlinks in some way. For example, like Skywalker Ranch and stuff. Um, a lot of paranormal investigators will go there to investigate, but it does seem like there has been a lot of extraterrestrial activity.
Oh yeah, there's actually a show for Skinwalker Ranch, and watching it all the way through was amazing because they tested so many different things, from chemical compounds in the ground, radiation. They measured electromagnetic fields and mapped things to a point where they were able to come up with so much conclusive evidence showing that pretty much that nothing made sense.
Mm.
And it's interesting to see a group of scientists into the paranormal field that far, because that's honestly where we should be taking this. You know, the paranormal and science aren't that far apart.
Yeah.
We just haven't put the effort into looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if we were to put in more effort and honestly start having more groups that go out looking for answers than just going out for the experience, we might actually get somewhere. We might actually start figuring out life after death.
Yeah.
Well, we might figure out why people stay behind, or what the concept of heaven and hell, you know, really comes down to or boils down to.
Yeah.
If we can really put weight into that, or if it's something completely different.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to end it right there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. This is Tales from a Ghost Hunter podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe down below. If you're listening to on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever else this is streaming, if there's a way to follow or subscribe, please do. And once again, you can support us and help support the paranormal community. And maybe one day we might be able to find some of these answers. So thank you guys for listening once again. We'll see you next time.